A ship is found drifting in the Atlantic Ocean, with its sails still intact, its cargo untouched, and not a single soul aboard. No struggle, no blood, no explanation, just silence, as if the entire crew had been erased from existence in the middle of an ordinary day. And even now, more than 150 years later, one question refuses to sink. What happened to the Mary Celeste? In November 1872, the merchant ship Dei Gratia was sailing through the Atlantic when something strange appeared on the horizon. At first, it looked normal, just another vessel rocking gently with the waves. But something about it felt wrong. Too still, too quiet. Ships at sea are never truly silent. They creak, they groan, they breathe with the ocean. But this one didn't. As they drew closer, the crew noticed the sails were partially set, fluttering aimlessly. The ship wasn't sinking. It wasn't damaged. It was simply drifting, alive yet lifeless. When they finally boarded it, they stepped into one of the greatest maritime mysteries in history. The ship was the Mary Celeste. Inside, everything was in order. The cargo of industrial alcohol barrels was neatly stacked. Personal belongings were untouched. Food supplies were still in place. Even the ship's documents were dry and readable. The last log entry was dated 10 days earlier, and it recorded nothing unusual. Just routine sailing across the Atlantic. And yet, there was no one there. Not the captain, not his wife, not his 2-year-old daughter, not the crew of 7 experienced sailors. 9 people had vanished without a trace. Human observation. The most disturbing part isn't just the absence of people, it's the presence of normality. Everything suggests they intended to stay. Nothing suggests they planned to leave. So what happened? Theories began almost immediately, each more unsettling than the last. Some said pirates must have attacked the ship, but there was no sign of violence, no stolen valuables, no blood on the deck. Even the lifeboat was missing, but it had been launched carefully, not destroyed in panic. Others suggested mutiny, but mutiny leaves chaos. Broken trust turned violent. The Mary Celeste showed none of that. The captain's quarters were untouched, his navigation tools still neatly arranged. Then came the theory that would fuel decades of fascination, that something aboard the ship had terrified the crew so completely that they abandoned it willingly. But what could do that? One clue stood out more than anything else: the cargo. The Mary Celeste was carrying barrels of industrial alcohol, not drinking alcohol, but raw ethanol meant for manufacturing. And these barrels had a known flaw: they sometimes leaked. As seawater and heat reacted with the alcohol fumes, pressure could build inside the cargo hold. Some investigators suggested a terrifying possibility. An explosion was feared, not actually occurred, just the threat of one. Imagine it. The crew hears a sudden hiss from below deck. A loud bang echoes through the hull. The smell of alcohol fills the air. Panic spreads. Someone shouts, "The ship is going to blow!" And in a moment of fear, they abandon the vessel into the open sea, only to realize too late that it was safe. But even this theory has cracks. Why would experienced sailors leave their belongings? Why would the captain abandon the ship so completely without ensuring survival supplies were secured? And most importantly, why was the ship still seaworthy when it was found days later? Another theory drifted in from the more imaginative corners of history: piracy, or even secret sabotage. Some believe the ship was intercepted, the crew removed deliberately, and the ship left untouched as a message or cover-up. But again, nothing was stolen. Nothing was altered. No evidence of another ship ever approaching. Then there were the natural explanations: waterspouts, rogue waves, even seaquakes. But none could account for the calm state of the vessel when it was discovered afterward. The deeper investigators looked, the stranger it became. Even the timing raises questions. The ship was last seen near the Azores Islands, a region known for unpredictable weather shifts. But the conditions recorded around that time were not severe enough to justify evacuation. And so the mystery deepened into something almost uncomfortable, because every logical explanation seems to collapse under its own weight. Human observation. The Mary Celeste does not behave like a crime scene. It behaves like a paused moment in time, like life stepped away briefly and simply never returned. Over the years, storytellers and researchers added layers to the mystery. Some claimed the ship was cursed. Others suggested hallucination caused by toxic fumes. A few even proposed sea monsters or supernatural intervention, though these belong more to folklore than fact. But the truth is even more unsettling than fiction. No one knows. What we do know is this: the Mary Celeste was eventually found still seaworthy. It had traveled hundreds of miles unmanned. The seas had not destroyed it. Time had not claimed it. It was simply waiting. The Dei Gratia crew brought it to Gibraltar, where an investigation began. Insurance fraud was suspected. The rescuers were even briefly questioned, as though they might have staged the discovery. But nothing ever stuck. No charges were filed. And just like that, the Mary Celeste slipped into legend. Over time, its story grew larger than the ship itself. Writers exaggerated details. Newspapers added drama. The ghost ship became a symbol of the sea's ultimate secret, its ability to take without explanation and never give answers back. But beneath all the speculation, there remains a quieter, more haunting idea. What if the truth was not dramatic at all? What if it was something small? A single misjudgment, a moment of fear, a decision made in panic under a sky that offered no reassurance. Because history is often not shaped by monsters or miracles, but by human decisions made in uncertainty. Human observation. The Mary Celeste may not be a story about disappearance at sea. It may be a story about how quickly certainty collapses when humans are faced with the unknown. Even today, modern investigators revisit the case with new tools and fresh theories. Computer simulations, chemical analysis, maritime reconstructions. Yet none can fully recreate the exact sequence of events that led to that silent deck drifting across the Atlantic. And maybe that is why the Mary Celeste endures. Not because it is unsolved, but because it is unresolvable in a satisfying way. There is no final twist, no confirmed culprit, no hidden diary revealing the truth. Just an empty ship, an empty ocean, and a silence that has survived for more than a century. And somewhere in that silence, the story continues to drift, endlessly, across imagination, across history, across every attempt to explain what was never fully recorded. Because some mysteries don't fade with time, they only get quieter.